Can modifications save the Super Meteor 650? In last week's video, I made a video about my 10 best cruisers, my 10 best ranked scored cruiser motorcycles, and sadly, the standard stock Super Meteor 650 came second to last, scoring only 49 out of 70, where the winner, the Indian Scout 1250, scored a very high 55. Today, we're going to see if we can close that gap. I'm going to go through in detail my modifications I've made over time on this machine, even their costs, and we're going to see if we can actually fix the hate in my love-hate relationship with this bike. To understand why I'm here, you have to know where I started. Before this, I was riding a Honda VLX 600. Now, I absolutely loved that bike, but as a teacher here in Thailand, the daily commute was killing my wallet. I was spending over 1,000 baht, or nearly £25 every single week, just to go to school and back. Then came the Meteor 350. My fuel bill, it plummeted to 1,000 baht a month. That J series engine was brand new at the time, a total unknown. The bike was so agile and full of character that I fell in love with it. So when the Super Meteor 650 was announced, I thought natural progression, right? On paper, it looked perfect. The 350 has a seat height of 765 millimeters, and I could flat foot the bike. The new Meteor 650, just 740 millimeters, so it's lower, right? Wrong. Because the 650 is so much wider in the middle frame, your legs don't go straight down, they go out. I'm 57 years old, and suddenly I'm on tiptoes with a 241 kilogram bike. From day one, I wasn't happy. I missed the agility, I missed the lightness, and I also missed the very good turning circle of my Meteor 350. Naively, I believed the specs, and I honestly thought I was going to get a 350 frame with a 650 engine. How stupid was I? So my first modification was very important to me. Not the exhausts, but the rear suspension units, because comfort was such an issue for me, especially on long distance at speed and then suddenly hitting an unexpected pothole. Bam! Straight in your spine, severe back pain, and I honestly thought I was going to have to sell the bike in my first week of ownership, which would have annoyed Mrs. T, because I drove her crazy for 6 months wanting this bike and spending all our savings. So that led me to changing out the rear shocks. And what I changed to were the Hagon shocks. The standard shocks are 310 millimeters, and what I changed them to were 290 millimeter Hagon shocks. So they lowered the bike by 20 millimeters, 2 centimeters for me, and then that made such a difference that at last I could flat foot the bike. The Hagon shocks, you don't have to reduce the height. They do them in standard 310 millimeters. They do 3 different types. They do a chrome spring, they do a black spring, and then they do a completely covered spring. And on all 3 of those, you've got the choice of 310 millimeters or 290 millimeters. So 6 different shocks. I'll put a link, I'll put a photo up, and you can have a look at those. On my previous videos, I've never had a kind word to say about the original shocks for the Super Meteor 650, and now I know I was correct to say so. So 150 kilometers today on the new shocks, and what can I say, what an improvement. Pretty much night and day. And then my second aftermarket modification to this bike was the RS Tech belt drive. I've made quite a few videos about this. I'm going to put a link here about the advantages of a belt drive. Not only have I got a smoother ride, not only have I got a cleaner ride, no oily mess to clean, but I've got better fuel economy anyway. So I've gone from standard 24 kilometers per litre on a standard Meteor, and just by changing to belt drive, I'm now getting constantly 26 kilometers per litre. So that's not a bad thing either. One thing more that the belt drive does, I find, is that I can corner better. And the reason for that is when I'm rolling on and off the throttle, there's no chain snatch. and therefore I can gauge the corner a lot easier just by a little small adjustment on the throttle. And my cornering is definitely improved with a belt drive. Next up, the seat. If the shocks were about saving my spine, the seat is all about saving my, well, you know. I've spent a serious amount of time and a fair bit of money researching the perfect saddle for this bike. In fact, I've actually made an entire video testing 5 different seat options. I'll put a link in the description if you want to deep dive into that later. But after all that testing, the winner was clear: the Sahara seat from India. It's transformed the bike. I'm taking 8-hour days in the saddle with absolutely no problem. When you combine that with those Hagon shocks, the comfort from this bike really increases. It's gone from a bike I dreaded riding for more than an hour to a true long distance cruiser. I've installed, first of all, the Sahara seat, touring seat, and secondly now the Sahara low rider seat. They have both been fantastic. I ordered them both direct from Sahara in India, and I've both ordered them with the gel added, and the gel definitely makes a big difference by absorbing those sudden jolts just in case you get them. Sahara have told me they do not sell on eBay UK, so if you are looking at eBay UK and you see a Sahara seat, it's probably not made by Sahara, or just the cover is, and somebody's putting that on top of another seat that isn't associated with them. So they have said to me, not that there's any affiliate links, I don't get any affiliate from Sahara seats at all, but they have said to me, if you want to buy the genuine Sahara seat, you have to buy from their website in India. And there we go, my padded, lovely, comfortable Sahara lowrider seat. To be honest, the touring seat is more comfortable, but unfortunately it puts the bike up another 20 millimeters higher, so it defeats the object of me lowering my bike. It's ideal when I'm on the road with Mrs. T and we're touring together and I change the seats out, but when I'm riding on my own, I prefer this lowrider seat. Noisy bike. We've improved the comfort, we've improved the agility. The next thing we need to do is improve the tech. This is where I do get affiliate links. A fantastic product, and I definitely recommend it. The Aoocci BX model. That has helped my navigation so much. For the first year I did use the Tripper navigation. It was free, it was included in the bike. I wanted to use it, and I did. And I found it perfectly okay for rural Thailand. But as soon as I went into any major city and it said in 300 meters turn left, when you've got 3 left junctions all close together, you have no idea which one to take. And the same with roundabouts, it was a bit confusing. The Aoocci BX was fantastic, especially when I'm riding with Mrs. T. I can tell her in advance if it's going to be a 180 degree corner, a 90 degree corner, because I can see it on the map on my screen. I can also listen to my music, and I've also got front and rear camera recording just in case there's any accidents. And then of course on the BX model I've got my blind spot detection, and that has saved me at least twice. I'll put a shot up here. I'm trying to turn left and somebody overtakes me on the inside. If it wasn't for the Aoocci BX alerting me to that, it would have been an accident. It really would have been. So that has increased the tech on this bike enormously. So we're getting near the stage where we're going to regrade the tech and the comfort and the agility on the Royal Enfield Super Meteor 650. So let's look at the final bill for this redemption. To get the Super Meteor to this level, I've invested into 4 key areas: the Hagon shocks, £220, the Sahara lowrider seat, £123, the Aoocci Tech Hub, £232 with my discount code, and the belt drive conversion kit, £470. So a total investment of £1,045. Now that's a decent chunk of money, but let's see how it transformed the scorecard. So let's see the new totals. Last week we started at 49 out of 70, but comfort 7 out of 10, up from 5, tech and features 6 out of 10, up from 4, and handling and agility 7 out of 10, up from 6. Everything else remains solid. The curb appeal is at 9, the character and soul at 8, and value for money still at 9 and fuel efficiency still at 8. That brings our new total to 54 out of 70. If you remember from last week, the winner of my top 10 was the Indian Scout 1250 with a 55. We've officially closed the gap from second to last all the way to a very close second place. For a total investment of £1,045, I've turned a bike that I didn't actually like into a machine that is nearly unbeatable for the price. The hate is gone, the love is now here. I'm keeping my Royal Enfield Super Meteor 650. Thanks so much for joining Ride with T today. Product links and descriptions and discount codes when I have them will be in the description below. Please make sure that you're subscribed because there are some more future videos to come. I've got a review on the Daytona rev counter stroke tachometer. I'm probably going to fit new tyres to the bike and see if we can improve comfort even more so. I've got handlebar risers to fit. I've got the DNA air filter to fit. Thanks so much. Until next time, ride safe.